Okay, so now it is time to introduce our next speaker. So for the second act of our Voices of Lakeland, the Power of Community, I'd like to introduce Mr. Catalyst John. And who has...
I thought that was two.
Yeah, obviously that's not his birth name, but that's okay. It's his real name, because that's what he really is all about, is being a catalyst. He is he's a business coach, and you can see that he is very dedicated to helping people. I love that phrase, conquer the entrepreneur's kryptonite. And he has, I don't know, that was the book that he's published in, but it still is kind of what he's all about. He's all about helping people move past whatever it is that's stopping them so that they can create a life worthy of your dreams. I like that philosophy. Rather than create the life of your dreams, but create a life worthy of your dreams. Briefly then, the thing, because I did it for Shane, I'm going to do it for John and Rob when it's his turn. The thing that blows me away about John is that he is almost like a force of nature in terms of his energy of going out to and doing and making things move forward. He is unstoppable, and it comes from within. And it's because he's found a passion and that he's pursuing. And the fact that he's taking time out to come and serve and help us out, and share with us, I'm really, really grateful for. So please welcome to the stage a force of nature, Mr. Catalyst John.
Hello.
If you need it.
I am a force of nature. You can ask my wife.
That's true.
There we go. Here's my one slide for you all. And I do have note cards too, Shane. So, my name is Catalyst John. I am legally trying to change that now so that Paul cannot introduce me as formally something else anymore. One of the things that really, really gets me excited, gets me passionate, gets me pumped up is success. And so, since we're here tonight to talk about community and growth, I want to tie that into being more successful. How do we surround ourselves with success via community? So the first question to start off this little talk is, who do you surround yourself with? Who are the people? Pretty much every time you see me come up here and speak, I'm going to ask the same question. Are you strategic in your relationships? Are you intentional in your relationships? Who are you surrounding yourself with? And so the cool thing is there's a concept called the mastermind group. And there's a lot of different words for it. There's other people that do it, but it's been around forever. And basically, I feel that it is a gateway to success. And I feel it really, really fits into tonight's theme because we're talking about community, and what is better than an intentional community that you can surround yourself with. And that, in my opinion, is a mastermind group. It's a group of like-minded people that share a definite purpose. They're all coming together for a specific reason, kind of like a whole bunch of people here tonight at this lovely hotel. We're all here for a definitive purpose. We're all here for a definite reason. We want something specific. And that's the same thing. It's just a little bit more intentional, and you set up regular meetings inside your mastermind group. Now, as I said, it's been around since history began. King Arthur had his round table. You have the U.S. presidents always have a cabinet. They're surrounded by people. Whether it's Edison, Einstein, Carnegie, Bill Gates, Ben Franklin, all these people have had some type of group that they can invest in themselves and they can withdraw from. Ben Franklin, his is really, really famous. His was called the Junto, Junto. And I've actually been able to do some research on it, and there's a lot of stuff that has actually been documented about his later on to tell him some of the questions that he would ask during his group. But one thing I've noticed is the more successful people are, they tend to have a group with them. Success is rarely done alone. I mean, whether you're an Olympian in an individual sport, you have some type of coach, you have some type of team behind you somewhere, even if you're not involved in a team activity. And I find it really, really impressive that all these people, they have this group. Now, Socrates is known for believing that group discussion, through discourse, That is where real growth begins. That is where it really, truly you start to grow, is because of discussions. And that's what I think is one of the fundamental points of the mastermind group, is it gives you an ability to have that type of discourse, that type of discussion with these people. And these are, once again, like-minded people. So this is not a debate, but this is where you invest into the group and the group invests back into you, and you really have an opportunity to flourish and grow. I mean, it's basically like fertilizer for your brain. And so, how do you take that and use that is what we're going to be talking about tonight. And so Ben Franklin's group, here's some of the questions he would ask. Why some local businesses were succeeding or failing. Yeah, I love small business if you haven't noticed. Something praiseworthy, and how that you could use that yourself, how you could model that. So if you notice somebody who was doing something, whether it's an activist like Shane with his charity, or whether it's Rob with his fight against obesity, something that they're trying to do. And how can we model that in our own selves? So not just to let other people just do good. How can we all do good together? Literature. What books are you reading? What do you need to be paying attention to for the personal growth, for the self-growth? I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of self-growth. We all need to be constantly investing in ourselves. We need to be constantly reading new materials, doing stuff to really, fertilize our minds so that we can go out there and do something specific with our lives. They discuss morals, philosophy, religion, business, and civic life. And what's really interesting is every 3 months, if you're part of this Junto group, you're required to submit an essay for a review from the rest of the group. And they would be able to test your hypothesis and your theories. They'd be able to critique you. And it could be anything that you wanted to talk about. But you have to present it in front of the group, and then you have to get feedback from the group. And so what I find interesting about it too is basically you're being forced to do some research. You're being forced to regurgitate that research out to other people. And we all know it's very difficult to take a concept and push it out to somebody else. It's not the easiest thing to do. And then you have to take their critiques. You have to hear their feedback. You have to actually have a discussion about this. So it's not a type of scenario where we're preaching to somebody else. I'm up here and I'm speaking to you all. There's a little bit of feedback that will be coming through here, but most of it is just coming one way. But these groups, these mastermind groups, are never supposed to be one way. They're supposed to be going back and forth. And for example, have you ever had a problem? And so you call up your spouse, your best friend, your mentor, your coach, your somebody that is inside of your life, and just explaining the problem to them, you get the solution. It snaps. That's the purpose of this, is to get that solution. Sometimes it's going to come from ourselves. Sometimes it's going to come from other people. Sometimes it's going to strengthen us because they're going to say some things that maybe don't want to hear. Sometimes they're going to say something that we just never ever thought about. My wife and I the other day, I can't remember what it was, but we saw something and she viewed it this way, this picture over here. Mine was complete and total opposite. I had no clue that she could even comprehend the situation in that manner. She was locking on to very, very specific points of it. I was locking on to completely different points of it. And so it's really funny because she's like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, what does that have to do with the situation at all? But and that's the other thing, is we can breathe into each other because we are different. And that's the one thing about these mastermind groups. We always want to make sure that it is a diverse crowd. Sometimes you want strangers in there. It's not designed to be a clique. It's not designed to be your best friends. It's designed to do where you're bringing in people. Now, obviously, they all have to have a commonality, but you want people from different areas of life. You want people that are older and younger. This morning at the LBL breakfast, we had a good age range. And it's very interesting when you see young kids talking about health and people that are retirement age talking about health. When you have people that are actually in the nutrition field talking about health, and you have people that just like Krispy Kreme donuts. By the way, they are next door to here. They have paid a small royalty for me to mention them. I do apologize for that. But it all comes back to talking out the problem. And then there's so much more that comes with this. You have the ability to have someone who tells you that you can. I think that most people need somebody in their lives to tell them, yes, you can do it. Yes, you are able to do this. It's something that's totally lacking. In all the business professionals I work with, I can tell you that's one commonality. What I think entrepreneurs need more than anything is someone just to be there, their cheerleader. Just saying, yes, yes, you can. I went to a business trip, I did some training, I met this guy named Patrick. And I don't use the term friend loosely. I'm very, very specific about who I call my friend. Well, let me tell you, this dude is my friend. So, I've never met him before. I've only known him for a day. And he's like, John, I believe in you. I believe in you so much. Here's my business card with my personal cell phone numbers on it. If you ever, ever, ever doubt yourself, and you need someone to tell you that you can, you call me. I don't care when. I don't care what day, I don't care what time. You call me, I will tell you that you can. I believe in you. And I was just thinking, wow. I mean, this dude is a complete total stranger. I possibly would have completely written him off if I had not been forced to sit in a room with him and talk to him. I would not have had this discussion if we didn't go to lunch together. And all of a sudden, this guy is literally speaking into my life and telling me, I don't want you to ever give up on your dream. I don't want you to ever struggle with this. I will tell you that you can do it. And I'm like, who am I to deserve that? Well, think about that. Adding not one Patrick to your life, but a dozen. And when I'm talking about this mastermind group, I'm talking about 3 to 12 people. 3 people is as small as you want to get because 2 people is not good enough for the discussion. You need 2 other opinions out there. Then 12 people is pretty much the max because once you get about 12, it just becomes too much discussion. Not everyone's going to be able to fit in. And so I truly believe somewhere around 6 to 9 people, that is a really, really good group. Shoot for a number around 7 people. The only thing is, if you have a little bit on the higher end, holidays come, vacations, anniversaries, you're guaranteed to have enough people always showing up to your meetings. Next is, I believe that each and every one of us has something that is worthy. We have an ideal, we have a cause, we have something we believe in. As he said before, I'm a force of nature or something crazy like that. We each have that inside of ourselves. I'm not unique in that. Some of us just need to release it. So how cool would it be to have that 6, that 7, that 9, that 12 people that are literally going to rip away the layers, like an ogre on Shrek? They have layers of onion. What if you could have someone like that to help you constantly and consistently rip away those layers and get you to really, truly, your force of nature to come out? What if you had accountability? What if you got to stand up and tell people, this is what I'm going to do? Everything changes when you make a public proclamation. I really was afraid I was not going to be able to say that right. When you do that, everything changes. When you write something down, everything changes because now you have a group of people that can say, hey John, you remember when you told me you were going to do this? How's that going? You remember when you said you wanted to do this? Did you really, really mean it? Were you passionate about this? There's a guy named Harv Eker, and he talks about wanting, choosing, and committing. I like to use the word wishing for want. There's 3 different levels of this. Some of us, we wish. I call that the lottery. If it happened, it'd be great, but I'm literally going to do nothing to make this happen. We have the ones that choose. And yeah, we're going to do it until it gets rough. We're going to do it until, we meet some resistance. We're going to do it until it gets a little scary. We're going to do it until, it's just not comfortable. And then we have the people that are truly, truly committed. I love the Navy SEALs because these are people, and whether it's the Navy SEALs or any other special ops team, they're the people that are so truly committed that there is no going back. They will go to the most hostile region in the world and they will complete their mission. There is nothing acceptable except for success. Literally, death is the other option. And I love that commitment because that's something that I definitely lack in. I don't have as much commitment for the things that I want as I should. And to know, I just can't wait for the opportunity when I get to sit down with a Navy SEAL, because it's going to happen, it's on my benchmark, or my bucket list. And I can check that off and say, I had lunch with this guy, or I bought him breakfast, or we ran in some crazy desert for a day. To find out what does that really, really look like? How do I model myself after that? But once again, what if I found a whole bunch of like-minded people that had that true commitment, and I had a mastermind group with them, and we shared and we rubbed off on each other? As Proverbs says, iron sharpens iron. You know, when I talk about being strategic with this, it's not because of vanity, it's not because of selfishness. It's because we become better people, and better people do better things, and better things change the world. We have some movers and shakers in this tiny little room, in this tiny little city of Lakeland, that literally are game changers. They're world changers. They're not coming here and just doing little teeny things. They're thinking big, audacious goals. They have mastermind groups, a lot of them, that help invest in them, to help them push this out. We also have personal growth. We have people that are speaking into our lives and saying, hey, John, you're not really good at this. You need to step it up. Hey, John, maybe you should tweak this. Hey, what if we did this? You know, people to really iron sharpens iron, to push us farther, to make us do more than we ever thought we would. We have differing perspectives, experience, knowledge. We have people that know a whole bunch of stuff that we don't. Some of us are tech savvy, and we can reprogram that VCR, and we can rip it apart, and we can do that. Some of us literally cannot understand how to hit record on a DVR. You know, I don't understand why I can't record that mini-series. But we have other people that can step in and take that weight from us. We have people that can come and support us. There's a lyric of a song that says that when I can't, I will fall down on you. And I find that very, very interesting and intriguing, because the person is literally saying that they're going to fall down on another. And that person is going to have to support them. And this is what is really cool about this. Now, the mastermind group is known because you have people that are going to invest their resources into you. Now, it's pretty cool, because I've heard of things like jet skis. You know, I don't have one, but other people do. So if you have a jet ski, or you have a cabin in the mountains, or you have a penthouse in Manhattan,
Yeah.
I will create a mastermind group specifically for you. But no, I mean seriously, I've heard about these people, they're loaning out their properties, they're loaning out this kind of stuff because they're trying to help each other. About when something special happens, you have this team that's going to show up there, and they're going to be present, and they're going to celebrate with you. And that's the other thing. If you don't hear anything else I say tonight, celebrate with others. Let them brag to you, embrace them, celebrate with them, tell them good job, tell them yes, and encourage them to do something that's worthy of a celebration. Birthday cake should be every day. Henry Ford was once called, and he didn't do some kind of testifying thing, because they said that he was an uneducated man, and he was too uneducated to be doing what he was doing. And we all know that Henry Ford was a success. The man made cars successfully. And so they were putting on, because he was too uneducated. He really should not be the captain of this industry. And so they were asking him questions like, what's the distance between San Francisco and New York City? And what about this? And what about this? And he was like, I don't know the answer to any of this stuff. I truly do not understand what the answer would be. I honestly don't even care what the answer is. What I do know is that on my desk, I can press a button. And on that button, somebody will walk into my office and they will answer any question that I have about this. He had a team to support him. He could not do it alone. He had other people that could step in. And he showed true education, because he doesn't have all the answers, but he knows who does. He knows where to find the answers. He knows where to find the people that will support the dream. He knows where to find the promoters. He knows how to do it right. You're going to have energy when we have this group around us. We're going to have people pushing us, and we're going to have synergy. In my last talk, I talked about that, where you take two horses and you put them together. An individual workhorse will carry about 6,000 pounds of weight in the load. Two horses you would think would be 12. Well, actually it's more than that. It's approximately 24,000 pounds. You almost quadruple what you can do. It's the same thing with the group. You have synergy. More people investing in the same project are going to get more done, and they're going to do it quicker. Now, I'm telling you this because I'm in mastermind groups. It's really, really cool. I was in a mini little mastermind group the other day, and all of a sudden, everything got real. You talk about walls of transparency, boom, everything changed. Real life started being thrown out there. Things that you would not expect other people to be saying. And it's like, yes! Because now we can do something. Now we can invest in each other. Now it's like, wow, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm in another group. I want to launch a new product for my business. I want to do a podcast. Now, I'll be honest with you, completely transparent. If I was not in this group of people, there would be no podcast. Most likely the podcast will be launched this month. I'm saying most likely because I'm not there yet, but I have a definitive date and I'm going to make it happen. Actually, I shouldn't have said it that way. I'm going to launch the podcast this month because I have a support team behind me. And if I have any questions or any issues, I'm going to call them up or I'm going to get them online and they're going to help me solve them because I'm not alone in this. I can promise you that there would be no podcast launched this month if I didn't have this team. I would always be working on it. I'd be doing, dilly-dallying with it. I'd be trying to do some more research. But no, I have these team of people that are saying, no, we're launching. And what's really crazy about this, I'm talking about how fast this is. I've only been doing it for about 2 months with this group. Now, I've wanted to do this since about January, February of this year. But all of a sudden I heard this guy saying, I'm going to create a mastermind group for podcast. And in literally 90 days, we'll probably have a full-fledged podcast launched and ready to go. How crazy awesome is that? This is what happens when we invest in each other in this type of group. So, you do whatever you want to do, but I highly, highly suggest that you guys find a team of people, whether it's 3 people or 6 people or 12 people, and you start something like this in your own little circle. And you do it, and you make things happen. So, like Shane had a question, my question is, what do you want to make happen? What force of nature do you want to release? And go do it. Catalyst John.